Hello, welcome. We are no longer at the MuleSoft Meetup in Atlanta. However, we lost the audio of the original recording. So I'm going to do a segment of live recording with the slides of the intro. We're going to splice in video from the event and explain some of the things that we're doing and then share with you some of the fun we had at the Ohana floor, as well as giving away some of our swag. So sorry about the loss of the audio, but I'm going to take it from here and see if we can make the best of this. So anyway, welcome to our Atlanta MuleSoft Meetup group. This is the MuleSoft Vibes in action. We're so excited about Vibes and what it brings to us as far as AI is concerned. And it will be the AI for the integration lifecycle. And we're going to show you some key factors of the ability that Vibes does have. So today is April 9th, 2026. And our agenda is we're going to do some introductions. We met all of the guests in the room and a little bit about our meetup leaders and our guest speaker. And you'll hear from our sponsors at the end as well. So we're going to spend the day after intros working on the Vibes workshop. We have the recording from that. I'm going to share some additional content there. We had a great lunch that was provided by our sponsors. And then after lunch, we dove into the MuleSoft 2026 roadmap. You'll see the videos and slides on that. And then, of course, we'd like to thank our sponsors. And then we have some fun at the end there. We'll show the room and have the video with audio of all of the other guests. But the two meetup leaders, myself, of course, Diane Kessler, known as Digital D. I'm practice lead for Cloud Blazor, Salesforce, and MuleSoft partner, and also co-founder and certified instructor for Integration Quest. Also, my cohort is a veteran as a MuleSoft leader. He's been doing this for quite a while. We won't give the number of years, but he's definitely vetted as a meetup leader in the Atlanta area. And that is Rajneesh Kumar, great friend, intelligent, kind. Can't say enough about this guy. He's actually presenting at TDX in San Francisco right now. So anyway, he's CTO of Varnish Technology, and he recently became a partner with Salesforce also. So I'm very excited about what's to come of that. And the other achievement he has had this last year is he became a MuleSoft community ambassador. I've been one for several years, so I kind of have the jump on that, but he is brand new in that area, and very congratulations to that. Our guest speaker is Tintu. She's Customer Success Senior Manager with Salesforce. Her and I met several years ago with Women Who Mule, and it's just great to see her having stellar recognition with Salesforce in her present role. And she's here to share some details about Vibes and also how you can use a new diagnostic tool as well. So you'll see that presentation that she has. So we are here at the Atlanta Salesforce Tower doing our meetup, and here is our crowd. So we're happy to have everyone join. And by the way, I'm being recorded over there. So yes. Thank you all for coming. Let's all say Muley together. Ready? Muley. Awesome. So let's go back in time to 2006 when Ross Mason founded MuleSoft. Now we know integrations are very messy. Ross found himself having to rebuild a lot of components at every single project along the way. So what he decided to do is to really modularize that and compartmentalize those elements. So back then integrations were painful. Everything was custom. Nothing was reusable. Talk about point-to-point and spaghetti architecture. For those of you who don't know what that means, it's all the spaghetti noodles, end-to-end, point-to-point, challenging to support. But MuleSoft solved that. Ross gave us API, in that progression, it gave us APIs, API-led connectivity, and the architectural style as well as structure, gave us reusability. So Ross really changed the way we do integrations. Of course, as you know, Salesforce acquired MuleSoft. and now proud owner of MuleSoft. But now we're at the next evolution. Things are going to change. We're not just building integrations anymore. We're collaborating with AI to create them. You know, in this AI phase that we are in, it is totally a game changer. Salesforce is taking it to the next level with MuleSoft Vibes. Same mission, how, but now a powerful AI partner in the process. So very exciting to have you here with our MuleSoft Vibes workshop. I want you to meet your powerful coding partner that you're going to use, which is MuleSoft Vibes. Now, and our focus for today at this meetup was really, our focus is centered around the developer. So you can really feel the tool, the power that the tool brings you when it comes to coding. However, it is also for architects, admins, ops, to really follow the life cycle of our integration, where we design, develop, manage, and govern all the way across. So there's so much more that it's offering us. So when we talk about the architects, you know, this is where, as an architect, you can use Vibes, as you see in the design there, you know, to really build out your assets and really to connect those assets together, pull them in from an agent scanner, pull in MCP servers. You know, really it streamlines, is very fast in the architectural level. Now, on the developers, like I said, this is our focus for this workshop. And the developers give us that opportunity to really build out our API specification, turn around with Vibes, and it will create all of our details, ask us questions in the planning phase. We switch it over into the action phase, and then it creates those codes for us. So the specification into our implementation, and then also writing Mule flows and MUnit and DataWeave. Just so much is available there. Next, jump over for admins. You know, as an admin, you're overlooking your teams, your different environments from a different perspective. Vibes also gives you the ability to remain consistent across all of those different categories. And then, of course, operations. AI can also help to diagnose some problems. We even took and used the diagnostic element of it and troubleshot some of our issues we were having. So really very exciting there. Now, how does it all start? How do we get set up? Now, there's a video that you can follow that shows you how to set your system up with Anypoint Code Builder. So we're going to have the link below for you to go ahead and get that installed on your system. Follow the instructions carefully there. The best part about this is that everyone that came to the meetup already had theirs done. So kudos to the team and having Anypoint Code Builder already installed. So pause the video where you're at if you haven't done that, have not installed Anypoint Code Builder so far, and go ahead and take care of that. Now I'm going to pick up next on what we are going to do to set up our integrations. I'm going to talk through some of this, and then I'm going to bring the video up where we can actually go through the video and see these next steps. So anyway, we have to, first of all, in that video you just followed for Anypoint Code Builder, you set up a trial account. That's a 30-day Anypoint platform trial account. That's fine. It's going to work perfectly for what we need to do to integrate Anypoint platform with Salesforce. Now you're going to see us in the video go create a Salesforce developer account. There are a couple different free Salesforce accounts that you can, or orgs that you can sign up for. You must make sure you're using the developer Salesforce account, because that is going to be provisioned with the entitlements of Einstein, Agentforce, agents, AI, all of that. Okay, so I want to make sure you're aware that you must have a special account that you're going to see in the video. So next, we go into integrating these two platforms. So on the left, you'll see that this actually is Anypoint platform, whereby we set up a connection into the Salesforce org. So again, you're going to capture this in the video. You'll see that in some of the first few segments there. Next, after that, we will go into Anypoint Code Builder. We want to sign in with that same account that you have for Anypoint platform, because When you complete that first piece that I just shared on the slide, that is the integration between Anypoint Platform and Salesforce. So between those two, once you launch Anypoint Code Builder using the credentials for Anypoint Platform, then you're set. You'll be able to see, as you notice here, the AI icon for Einstein or Agentforce to be able to start using Vibes. So what happens is within here, we start, notice at the bottom you have plan and act. We start on the plan. We start communicating with Agentforce and we tell it basically in plain language what we want to do first, like the example that's on the slide. Let's create a simple API specification in RAML for a get order request. So again, natural language, and it starts communicating with you then. It'll generate and ask in the planning phase, it'll ask you questions. It'll be, defining what it needs to create the specification. Well, how does it do this? How does it know that? How does it know to ask me, do you want to, here is an endpoint and do you want to, it's going to ask you some like detailed technical questions. How does it know all of that? Well, let me tell you. There is a built-in MCP server that comes built into Vibes. And so this server has various operations associated with it that really start to ask in natural language back to us some of these detailed questions so that it can create a proper specification or Mule application or whatever you are working with. So an MCP server, you can see that is, like I said, brought in as the tool that is the bridge between the you and the AI components there, the brain, so to speak. So as we go forward, we're going to prompt it in the planning phase. We're going to fine tune it where it asks questions, and then it'll come to a place where the plan's created. Then you switch it over into the act phase or act mode, and that's where it starts writing your code. So we're going to get started by integrating Anypoint Platform with Salesforce by creating a developer account. Now, there are several different trial accounts you can try for free. The one we want is the developer account. So you'll notice the URL up here is developer.salesforce.com. We can browse trials if you want. Come down here. There is Developer Edition is the one we want. There's others, so you can see there's others. Nonetheless, we want to go to the Developer Edition. And here we want to fill out the details that we need. We're going to be CEO for the day, US, Tennessee. I'm going to use a different email address here. Agree to the terms. And sign me up. Okay, so what this is going to do, it's going to send a confirmation email. We will check our email and see if that email has come through. So we'll come here. Usually does not take too long. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get logged into Anypoint Platform. All right, so I'm going to get logged into my Anypoint Platform account. And on here, I'm going to go ahead and get this set up. I'm going to go to the setup icon in the upper right, do the drop down. You will see Access Management. And on the left-hand side, we're going to see Salesforce. Okay, so this is where I'm going to actually connect my Salesforce org to the Anypoint Platform account. Okay, and let's see if the email did come in. Yes, it did. This is from the new developer Salesforce org. And we want to be sure that we copy the username. You can copy your org as well, the URL for that. Let me drop this over into my notes. Okay, and now you're just going to reset your password. So go ahead and set your password to something that you'll remember, and be sure to put that in your notes as well. All right, so now we have our password set, and we are ready to move forward with the integrations, okay? So in the upper right, we're going to go ahead and click on the gear icon, upper right, okay? And we're going to click on Setup. Now you're in the setup of Salesforce. And in the upper left, we're going to go ahead in the quick find and type in Anypoint. Okay, that'll bring us to Anypoint Platform Setup. Let's go ahead and click on Anypoint Platform Setup. And on here, we're going to make that connection between Salesforce and Anypoint. So if you notice on the right-hand side, complete the connection. Go ahead and click on that, and the window pops up for the Salesforce org tenant key. We're going to copy that. Okay, click on copy the Salesforce org tenant key, and then we're going to mouse over Anypoint platform. Make sure that we are in the correct field or correct page for that. This is Anypoint platform. Notice the mule icon. You're on the Salesforce tab here, and we want to add a Salesforce org. This is where we're going to paste in what's in your clipboard from Salesforce, and then go on to add. Okay, now this is, we're going to name the connection. So we could do SFDC, sales org. I'm going to put my initials because a couple different people use this account, so they know it's mine. And we'll click on add. Now, when we do this, another window pops up to where we can copy the Anypoint platform org key. Notice we're sharing our org key with both platforms. Click on copy. And now we're going to go back over, mouse over to where we find the Salesforce. Click on copy. There we go. Salesforce. And this window should still be open on the Anypoint platform setup page, and paste in the Anypoint platform org ID and click on connect. Okay. Once you have clicked on connect, then you will see that your credentials are in the window above, and this is your account that's connected with the Salesforce account that's connected with Anypoint platform. So we're going to come down here to the enable Agentforce in Anypoint platform area, and on the right hand side we're going to enable that. Okay, once enabled, we're going to come up here to the upper left and we're going to type in Einstein. And we want to come down to Einstein setup. If you want to be sure, do a space and type in setup. There is Einstein setup. Now, by default, there are times that this is not turned on. It is turned on at this point, so that is fine. So it is already activated. So let's come up here to the quick find, and we're going to type in agents. And under agents, or when you search for agents, you will see Agentforce agents. And that's what we want to turn on here. Okay, this one is not turned on. So we're going to go ahead and toggle that one on. And now we have activated, not only verified Einstein setup is on, but also Agentforce agents is on as well. So let's now go back to Anypoint platform. So all of this, again, as a reminder, is on the Salesforce org. We're going to go back to Anypoint platform tab and finish what we started here. So we're going to click on close. And when we click on close, we're going to notice, let me drop down to, here it is, SFDC, Salesforce org DK. This is the one I just did. Notice there are multiple Salesforce accounts here, connections to different Salesforce orgs. So Anypoint platform supports multiple Salesforce orgs. And we can come over here to the upper right. The first option here is do not allow this Salesforce org to import APIs. We do want to toggle that on. When we do, you're going to get a pop-up window. We want to say continue. Okay, and you're going to choose the business groups and that you want to have the the agents accessing importing the APIs. Click on Save Settings. Okay, and these green checks mean that we have completed the configuration here as well. All right, so now we are ready to switch over into Anypoint Code Builder. Now, what you will find, there's already some existing work here that I have, but what you will find is, first of all, you do need to make sure you are logged in. When you are logged in over here on the left, you will see your credentials on the bottom right. When you do this the very first time, you may have a pop-up that mentions that you are allowing or, do the trusted sites, I believe, is one of the ones that comes up. But ultimately, when you have installed, let me see. If you've installed the Anypoint Code Builder extensions, okay, you want to make sure you install all of them. I believe there's a total of 8 Anypoint extension pack. You want to make sure they're all installed. If you do not see the, well, I've got an extra one. I've got a GitHub Copilot too, but you should see the Anypoint Code Builder MuleSoft icon, and you should see MuleSoft Vibes. Okay, so when we click on MuleSoft Vibes, this is where I had mentioned before that we are going to be working in the workshop on the having Vibes create a simple application first. That's in the video of the hello world. So we'll switch back over to the video at this point, create the hello world. And by adding prompts, if we're in the plan phase here, then we will add the prompts and be communicating with Vibes by way of this MCP server. So we have an MCP server that's active. So if you click on this, and you can come down here to take a look at what this MCP server actually is. It's our communication from our natural language into utilizing the MCP server, and it retains the information we've sent it. When I ask it to do things, I have some other projects open up there, namely the Hello World application. So it would actually remember some of that I've done already. Okay. So again, I'm going to switch to the video at this point so that you can see how that played out. You'll see the prompts be entered in. You'll see we create the Hello World application, and then we'll go forward from there. But key factors for your Anypoint Code Builder is to, again, make sure you have those extensions added, and you should see the icons here, and you'll click on the MuleSoft Vibe icon. Okay, so we begin using Vibes. This is the recording from the meetup. And our first thing that we do is we come in here and we're going to give a natural prompt. And this is all going to be a result of the Vibes process. We're going to prompt with our plan. So we're going to switch into plan mode. We're going to give it the simple text of what we want to do in natural language. And then this will also bring us over into where we can go into act mode, and it's going to create our code itself. So in here, we're going to go ahead and type in something just simple, and we're going to create our first application. It's going to be called Hello World. And you'll just see I write a simple prompt. I don't give it a lot of details, but it will turn around and come back with more comprehensive questions and plan for my application. Switching it back over to the plan, and then I send this in. So it's thinking, it's going out there, it's getting information about what I want, and then it will begin to ask me questions. Notice it's saying, I see you're interested in creating your first Mule application called Hello World, and then it goes forward from there. It had two files. It'll ask me at some point if I want to create yeah, it says, I see you're currently in the workspace. Do you want to create a new separate project? Yes. I don't want it to be added to the existing one. So I go out and create a new workspace. So creating a new workspace here. Okay, so you see the prompts it's asking me there. I want to create my first Mule app called Hello World. I'm in a new workspace now. Okay, so it is asking me, do you want to create a new project? Do you want to use a template? Do you want to convert an existing project? So I reply back with number 1. I want it to be a new project. So this is all in the planning phase. It's going to communicate back and forth, asking you questions, what you want to do, and I, will provide the information throughout this segment, and then it will continue creating various things that I ask of it. There we go. So it's starting to make out the flow. It's even giving me my endpoint. Again, this is all the plan. And it's telling me basically it's ready to go ahead and create that. We could switch over into act mode. So there we go, switching over into act mode. And now it's going to create my code for me. Okay, so it's prompting and or I should say responding and giving information here. Now it's going to ask me some questions. And I'm going to end up telling it I want to generate from scratch without a template. You can also set it to auto approve. I purposely have mine not needing manual approval. And the reason is so that I can show you each of the questions being answered along the way. So it's created, so again, Agentforce has a question, create the project with the defaults. Instead of specifying the path and name, you would, in most cases, define that more. There it goes. And now it's waiting for me to approve this. Notice there's a tool on the MCP server called Create Mule Project. that's what it's being used. There were some issues with this too, and it will actually troubleshoot it when that is actually created. So it's making the directory for this. So notice it's troubleshooting this. Run the command. That's make directory at the root of C with the Hello World project. So even when it's not finding what it needs, it will actually overcome that. So we're doing troubleshooting at this point. Okay, I will say approve. We're going to create Mule project again. And there's some kind of an issue there. It's saying it already exists, probably because it was there before. Let's go through it again. It'll clean it out, which I think there's so much value in this, because even though it's having a hiccup, it's going to show remove directory. Look at this, remove directory. And then it will run it again and it should work. Again, I think I had to combat this a little bit. Some of this might have been a result of spotty internet. I'm not sure, but there we go. Now we're moving forward. So I like to, I'm glad that it kind of did that, even though it was like, wait, what's going on? Change directory. Now we're going into the actual structure of the file to the Hello World project itself. Clean and compile. We would be doing these if we were working with Maven and cleaning these out and building this in Maven. Again, there's an error. Maven missing project exception. Okay, so it's checking on this, seeing what actually got created. Troubleshooting, it's changing directory again, it's going back in that. I kept hitting errors. Now, I don't know. When I run this at home, the build was not failing. So it's kind of odd, and I don't know if it was a result of the internet being a little challenging, because I was having some problems with that, or what. But let's see. I think that it builds successfully after all. Yeah. So Maven clean, these are commands we would run, and Vibe is doing it. So you can just sit there and hit approve based on what it's doing. Again, you don't even have to. You can put it on auto approval. Now it's asking, do you want to generate the flows or describe the specifics about the flows? I just said, yeah, go ahead and generate the flows. So again, you can kind of walk through it, let it do a lot for you, or you can be very specific and tell it what you want it to create for you. So notice where the steps up there, I'd like to point that out also, that it's in 10 of 11 steps to create Hello World. Next, it is, I believe, going to ask us about the listener, maybe. So we'll give it time. It's creating these files. We've got a POM file. We've got the source main mule. It also created a global XML. Now it's asking about the listener, HTTP listener. And we'll go ahead and select the listener. Okay, in the meantime, I got my client application ready so that I could test it out once it's ready. Okay, approving this as well. There it goes. Okay, so you see everything it has built out here. Use the connector from Public Exchange. Now, in Studio, if we were doing this, we'd have the connector there by default, but we'd be bringing it into the project as well. So I tell it, go ahead and go forward and proceed with the generation. All right, generating the actual Mule flow for with the HTTP connector. There's a transform message. There's a logger, I believe, that gets created as well. There we go. Okay, so we can see the communication that's happening here. It's pretty impressive. There we go. Now it's starting to build out the code, the XML code. And I kept getting that message. I don't know. I'm going to check on that with the engineers and see why that kept coming up. Okay, so we can tell from the XML we've got the flow created. And we have the listener. There's the XML on the listener. More to come. Wants to edit the hello world XML, wants to edit the global XML. There's our POM file that it's creating. Okay, so we can see our POM. What's weird is when I checked on the root file, it was in the correct place. I don't know why it was hiccuping like that, but config.properties file. Okay, we'll approve it to continue going. And now our project is ready. So we can go ahead and go to source on the left-hand side, open the source folder, main mule, and there is our flow. Once we open this up, we can see the graphical interface for our flow. And then we can also get a feel for what it created for us. There's our listener. We have a transform message as well. And of course, a logger. So just by communicating back and forth, we've got a basic little flow. There's our hello world. And of course, we can run this and then test it against a client application. There is hello world. It's been tested in and make sure that it is working as it should. And it does. So that's pretty fun. Now you can tweak this, you can fine tune it. The video continues me doing that. I'm not going to do voiceover in that segment, but you can see that I prompted to also create MUnit tests on this. And also you can modify the DataWeave. So I'm just gonna, you can go ahead and play out the rest of the video and see what is happening with this. There are some other errors that come up, but it's just gives you that feel for how to work with Vibes, communicating back and forth with it. So I'm going to stop the voice over at this point and let you, like I said, continue to observe, the interaction. No comments needed on some of that. Okay, so now we'll go back into MuleSoft Vibes, and we're going to create a specification. But before, let's see, there we go. Okay, so we start off with a specification. But before we do, I want to start by creating an agentic-based API, designing an API that is agentic-based. So I want to get this in place and be sure to, this is the order specification. We want to be sure to notice it's OAS for the specification. And we also want to be sure to click on the enable this API for agent topic and actions. Okay, so that's going to add the metadata and the topic information we need. So this is just Anypoint Code Builder functionality first. Okay, so we're creating the project. It is a API specification. And here is the start of our specification. Okay, so for our specification, we start off with a scaffold specification here. And this is where we will go in and change over into Vibes to create the details of our specification for orders. That is not needed to be open, so you have a better view of what's going on here. So we should go into Vibes. There we go. And under Vibes, we'll start speaking in plain language what we want to do. Okay. So I have copied a simple prompt that basically says what we want this order API to do. But it's not a very long prompt. I purposefully kept it very short so that we could get a feel for its ability to ask us questions. Notice I just say I want to create an agentic ready API specification for a GET request for orders for order and order ID. Switching back over into plan mode, sending in that request or that prompt. And again, you're going to see Vibes go and tell us what it's doing up here. It's acknowledging a request. It's going to ask us questions and continue forward from here. We are using OAS, so it is a YAML file. It sees that we have an existing one. And so it's asking us, what we want to do. And I'm telling it, yes. Really, yes to everything. I just said yes. I didn't even answer everything specifically. But it does know about the tagging. Notice the tagging is there. Our endpoints are here. At some point, I will tell it to use basic, common values or something like that. But it's already built a lot of this out. I could even be more specific here if I wanted to. and tell it exactly the fields, etc. And again, remember, this is a specification. This is the beginning of the life cycle of an API. Yeah, this was sent in. So this is really good to understand how the Vibes prompt to a result development flow is working. So really gives clarity to us entering in the prompts, the MCP server interacting with this, the Salesforce Agentforce layer actually reaching out to those LLMs to provide information, and then the Mule AI quality pipeline is in effect there. So it's really building a lot of this out as we go through, and then our final code, and we can validate the code and use that code going forward. So this is a great visual for that. All right, so we come back to our specification, and it is got everything we need. I think, I don't know if we switch over and go ahead and act on it at this point. Plan created, there is our plan, there's the order fields. So we can see that it has generated the details there. Okay, good enough. If you needed additional fields, you could. I was just going through, the what it auto-generated just to show what its capabilities are. And we even have our agentic details, defined scope, instructions, etc. I flipped it over to act, and then it is going to build out the code. It auto triggers it into the action mode or act to where it's going to create our code for us. And again, this specification is going to be agentic ready, meaning that when we publish this to Exchange and use it later, that it will have the tags necessary in Exchange that will also recognize these elements in API catalog when we go to use this in the Agentforce segment, the topics and scope and actions. Well, the actions won't be defined, but the topics will. So that will automatically synchronize into the Agentforce side. Okay. So, wow, look at this. The scope, the instructions, you have everything that has been defined. It's still working too. Pretty impressive. Now with OAS, we can see that it's putting a lot of the examples, data types all in line. That's how OAS is structured. So everything is going to be included in the block of code, which is why it's getting pretty long. You can see it's kind of long there. Security's also added. right, I do believe it is ready. It is wanting to change directory to parse our code. Okay, so we can parse it. Notice the command right above that that's pending. Okay, and like I said, you can automatically approve those. I just wanted to keep halting it so we could see what it was doing. All right, so it's good to go. I'm going to go ahead and now switching back over to Anypoint Code Builder, I'm going to go ahead and publish this to Exchange. There we go. Okay, so it does in fact get published to Exchange once we fill this out. And you can see the tags there. Notice the tags SF API catalog and SF API topic. That means something on the Salesforce side in Agentforce. And you'll see that going forward, not in the Vibes workshop, but I'm going to continue on with this project. And I will share how to use this in Agentforce. Okay, so we can double check at Anypoint platform and Exchange. And we should see it there. Now it's asking, do we want to go ahead and implement this? Which means, do we want to go ahead and use our specification to create an implementation? And it will auto-generate our implementation using the APIKit router plugin. There is our asset right there. Okay, so we can say yes to this. We can go ahead and allow it to create an implementation. I don't know what I was saying at that point. That's where we published to Exchange. I might have been reviewing it or showing someone how to do that. Can implement this local API. We're going to go up and implement it at the top. Yeah, we can go to Exchange there. Several different ways to do that. Publish to Exchange, upper right. So we've got, just check the icons. That's the primary thing. And from here, we can choose yes to go ahead and implement this specification, meaning do we want to use it as a interface for our application? So yes, I'm saying orders app and giving it some kind of a name for the application itself. Okay, once we do that, it is looking for there we go, our folder, our target folder, and latest runtime, the latest Java. And again, all of this is Anypoint Code Builder. None of this is Vibes you're seeing right now. This is all Anypoint Code Builder. And now it has completed creating our application. So you can go to source. And it's still creating it. Bottom right, still creating it. There we go. There's our POM file, source main resource, or source main mule. There is our XML. Okay, and then you can see this is our main flow. So this is like the APIKit router flow, main, and then you can see the other flows that were generated. There's the console as well as the two endpoints. Okay, and so it has now created our application. And we did find that we had issues with this trying to deploy. I did not send that over to the engineer yet to see what's going on with that, but there were some challenges in regards to running this. It did fail when it ran, but it did also keep troubleshooting it. So I'll let you watch that also. It's going to continue on with without voiceover to show the troubleshooting of some of that we dealt with. But it was pretty impressive that it would troubleshoot so much. And then we also move forward with the rest of the program. And the next part of the program was creating DataWeave code. And we saw some of that even in the Hello World. We worked with some of the, yeah, you'll see when we run this. Or am I going to do some vibes here? I don't remember exactly what I did here. I think I'm reviewing some of that here. So we'll let this continue. I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, I try to deploy it, but it does fail. You can see it here. We say, yes, this is normal. Yeah, and then it fails. And then we continue to troubleshoot it and troubleshoot it. And it seems to have a problem. I don't know if it does it on this one, but there's a corrupt Maven module. And so we had to, we didn't so much in the workshop. I kind of cut it off at that point because I knew I had dealt with that before. But you can see it through here. And even troubleshooting it, it will, give us, it'll go through and try to clear up and delete that corrupt module and then rebuild it, and it reloads that corrupt module. There's something going on with that I will have an answer for. I have not. See, I'll tell it to troubleshoot the failed deployment. And it does. It troubleshoots it. It's pretty impressive to see a lot of that. So I'll leave it run through and let that continue to show you how it's troubleshooting that. It was, like I said, it's pretty impressive that it would go through different things. You'll recognize what it's doing if you've worked with Maven before and kind of get a feel for what it's that it is, clearing things out, deleting that module, working with the M2 folder. So anyways, it'll go through all those paces. But I'll stop the voiceover at this point and let this run through. I think we go to lunch next. So I'll let the recording continue playing for some of this. See Maven clean compile. And then it just loads in that corrupt module each time. There it is. That one right there. I highlighted it. So this is good. We can send this over and see. Maybe we missed a step. I don't know, but certainly can find out. So like I said, I'm going to pause the voiceover and let this continue. How to meet our sponsors. We couldn't do it without you. We would like to thank Salesforce, Cloudblazer, Integration Quest, and Vanrush Technology for all of their support in our events now and past and future. So thank you. Who is Integration Quest? We are a company that provides certified instructors for the Salesforce courses, the instructor-led Salesforce courses that you likely have taken, as well as providing customized courses of our own that we do to meet certain objectives and meet certain industries, as well as different new products that are coming out. And so we have our own set of courses. We've been in business since 2022. Brian Haig and I developed Integration Quest. We founded it and have been passionate about teaching others as we progress along. And we have grown now to 8 of us who are responsible for teaching, not only for Salesforce, but also for the Integration Quest classes. And the beauty of that is we can consult with someone and a customer and provide exactly what they need for their particular type of deployment model. Most of us are consultants as well, so we really bring the real world flavor into the classroom. Our courses, we have 4 different curated learning passes, over 30 different courses. These are our own classes that we have developed, and that is really building out the 4 different learning path areas of development, administration, architecture, and AI integration. So we're excited about that. It's really taken off well. And of course, all of us are community focused. We're either an ambassador, a meetup leader, or active in the different meals in our MuleSoft community. So we're very proud of that. Another thing that we do on a weekly basis is we have our MuleSoft study group, and this is every Friday at 12 o'clock, hosted by RJ Kessler. He's one of our team members as well. And he is MCD1 certified. Super proud of him. You'll notice our last names are the same. Yep, we're related. That's my son. So really proud to have him be a part of Integration Quest. He does a great job hosting. He prepares the presenters and also manages the event itself. And then we'll post the recording on the Integration Quest YouTube channel. So there is so much content out there for you to just observe and, view for free and be able to add to your skill set. So the environment of the study groups is really very, somewhat casual. It's kind of like a college environment, to learn as you grow. And we are open for different presenters and speakers for this. Ryan and I rotate out, but we're always excited to have you share what you would like to bring into the study group. So what's your specialty? What have you done that you'd like to share, be proud of, or to tell us what you did? Sanitize it so that it's not revealing any kind of, sensitive information. So that's our MuleSoft study group. And now a little bit about Cloudblazer. So Cloudblazer is our other sponsor as well. And Cloudblazer is a MuleSoft partner, Salesforce partner, and an MSP partner. And I started to become affiliated with them in 2024 and am their MuleSoft practice lead as well as senior architect in the automation and AI utilized, for Agentforce areas. We also have Mark Knox, a great friend of mine, who he and I have grew up in MuleSoft together several years ago. He comes with us with several decades of experience. And he is our senior architect. He oversees all of the technology side of things. We've got other team members as well. We're onshore. We have had some red account turnarounds already. It's extremely exciting. And I'm so proud to be aligned with Dave McDaniel and Paul Yoder, who have over 25 years of experience in this space of Salesforce. They recently, like I said, 2024, They added MuleSoft to their offerings as a practice, and that's where I came on board with them. And what really attracted me to them was their transparency with their customers, with their clients. They treat them like, we come in and really advise them, even in the pre-sale environment. We do an estimation. We work closely with them based on what they'd like to see happen first, their phase one or MVP. There's no project minimums. We really continue to work with them. And we're not just handing them over a black box. We continue working with them even after delivery. So I'm just really proud to be affiliated with the caliber of people that Dave and Paul are, and we're continuing to do great work in the MuleSoft space. So very exciting as we progress forward. One of the things that they have that, again, another impressive feature is that they have created an app that goes into your Salesforce org for you to manage your project and be able to say, oh, where are we at with a certain, iteration or a certain task? And maybe our team wants to do this segment, and then Cloud Blazer does this other segment. In other words, you really have a lot of visualization into where you are, what you're doing, how things are looking. And then even in the managed services side of things, you can submit a ticket here. You can email or call us, and we, will help get anything fixed or modified that needs to be done. So this is another great feature. So really cool that they did that. And of course, thank you. There is a lot of their reach where you can reach out to us. But I want to thank Cloud Blazer because, like I said, they've really been eager to support any of our events that we do. So thank you to our sponsors. We really appreciate all of your input. Salesforce has provided us with the tower and also some funding for this for the food, but they've also given us a bunch of swag. Everyone walked away with a Muley t-shirt, so that's pretty cool. And also Varnish Technologies. We definitely appreciate all of your support as well. So thank all the sponsors.